Welcome to Patch Chat with Gretchen
and Dr. Cleverly, where we take a quick and clever dive into the info you want to know.
Hey, Gretchen Yui here. Welcome back to this week's episode of Patch Chat. Hey, today Dr. Cleverly and I are discussing copper and if we should supplement with singular high dosing of it while using the LifeWave patches.
Hi, everyone. Gretchen, I've seen in quite a few forums actually that they're recommending the singular supplementation of copper with the patches. Have you seen that too?
I have, and it's probably because copper is essential for several bodily functions. LifeWave patches have been reported to enhance the body's natural healing abilities, and copper supplementation is believed to work synergistically with these patches to optimize healthy outcomes that people really want.
So let's dive deeper into the relationship between some of the patches, the X39, 49, and copper. So the LifeWave X39 patch is designed to stimulate the production of GHK-Cu, a copper binding peptide, using phototherapy. And this does rely on the availability of copper in the body to function. But an important point is that the patch does not add copper to the body. It utilizes what is already present.
Yes, that's right. And my understanding is that GHK-Cu is a small copper binding peptide present in the body. It's been studied for its regenerative properties, and this peptide binds to copper ions that are already present in the body. So X39 may amplify copper's natural regenerative benefits.
Right. Yeah. So there's no harm from wearing the patches regarding copper levels. Now, while copper is essential, especially for energy production and the maintenance of connective tissue, I do have some concerns about singular random high dosing of specific supplements or minerals without knowing if you really need to be doing that. So when you buy something that's professionally formulated, usually it's low dose and in combination with other vitamins and minerals. And these can be useful, especially if the diet is lacking in certain things. So, as you know, we want to be hydrated and we want to have some proper building blocks of nutrition that we're getting for our body for the patches to work optimally.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're told to be sure we have our water and are encouraged to be balanced in other ways with what we're putting in our bodies. And I agree that we need to be cautious of high dosing anything. Of course, given your background in orthomolecular medicine, I'd love to hear you further discuss your thoughts about any supplementation.
Oh, thank you. So I'll begin with saying that copper deficiency actually is not really common today. So it's not something that a lot of people are worried about. So you do not necessarily need to supplement it, but it can occur in certain situations. So, for example, people with malabsorption issues, if they have Crohn's disease or celiac, they may struggle to get enough copper because they can't absorb things from their food. Now, if a person has a very restrictive diet, there could be more concern. However, on the opposite spectrum, people living in homes with old copper pipes, like what I used to when I lived in New Brunswick, had old copper pipes in that house, they may be exposed to excess copper. And so, women also who are taking birth control pills, they may not be told this, but sometimes they can experience altered and elevated copper metabolism if they're taking that. So, I have concerns of adding external sources in high doses because excess copper is actually more of a concern today for some individuals, and supplementing can potentially lead then to having too much or toxicity.
Wow, that's great information. So, what are the symptoms of a copper deficiency or copper toxicity?
Copper deficiency can lead to things like anemia or bone abnormalities and neurological issues if that's severe. But on the other hand, copper toxicity can cause symptoms like having nausea and abdominal pain, but then go as severe as liver damage. So it's smart to know where you stand before doing a lot of supplementing to avoid extremes.
Okay, great. And you had mentioned to me about having other concerns about supplementing copper. It was something about zinc. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So some of my concerns are especially due to the relationship between zinc and copper. So zinc deficiency is very common, much more than copper deficiency. And zinc is vital for a lot of different bodily processes. So these two minerals, they kind of fight, they compete for absorption in the gut, making excess copper, meaning that excess copper can hinder your ability to uptake zinc, which could lead to other deficiencies.
Okay, so is that true for both men and women?
Absolutely. So zinc is naturally beneficial for everyone. So in fighting viruses, supporting mental health, which is my field, it's essential for our skin, for our hair, for our nails. And so it's a cofactor in many other processes. So I can tell you that years ago, when I was first practicing, I worked with a young girl actually who had anorexia, and zinc played a significant role in her recovery. Additionally, many middle to late-aged men require adequate zinc levels for sexual function, and it's often a recommendation for prostate health as they get older as well.
Wow, that's interesting. So zinc and copper compete, and zinc is very important. So if people have too much copper in their bodies, it is easy. Is it easy to get it out of the body?
Not necessarily. So excess copper can be challenging to eliminate, and the body has a natural mechanism for regulating copper, mainly through bile excretion. But if copper levels are excessively high, then medical intervention sometimes is needed to address it effectively.
So it really is better to know before supplementing. And how can someone find out their levels of copper or zinc?
The most accurate way to assess those levels is through a blood test, and that can help determine if there's a deficiency or if there's an excess, and allow for your supplementation to be tailored based on what your individual needs are. So, working with your healthcare provider, practitioner, your medical doctor is advised.
Okay, well, I want to point out that whether you supplement with copper or not, LifeWave patches will still be effective for most. I don't supplement with that either of those things, and they work great on me. So some like to supplement or drink from copper cups. Maybe that is beneficial for them if they feel that they, are more imbalanced because of that. And they probably are having their levels checked by professionals, if they're doing that. And I'm excited to share that LifeWave is also coming out with its own brand of supplements this month that I know will be researched, balanced, and help us further in our health efforts. So that's exciting.
It is exciting, and I'm anxious to see what's available to us soon.
Yeah, me too. And we won't have to wait too long. Well, that's really a lot of information today, Dr. Cleverly. And for our audience, can you give us a quick summary of what we need to know?
Sure. So we talked about the potential benefits and concerns regarding copper supplementation, the importance of understanding zinc levels and how both minerals actually interact with each other in the body. We highlighted that copper deficiency isn't as common as people might think, and that toxicity for some populations is more. So it's best to have proper professional help to assess your levels before starting anything, especially if it's a singular high dose supplementation, to ensure the proper balance. So LifeWave does not say that you need to supplement with copper or anything else for those patches to work. And they are actually coming out. LifeWave is coming out with their own line of supplements that we're excited to see.
Yeah, thank you so much for your insights, Dr. Cleverly. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and watch our other videos. We welcome your thoughts and are here to give you more answers.
Absolutely. So stay healthy, stay clever, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Patch Chat with Gretchen.
And Dr. Cleverly, where small patches can make a big difference.
Interested in trying these patches? Click the link below. Want more information? Please email us. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more clever tips.
Stay clever, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.